Hello, and thank you for joining me for my recital presentation. This video will include etudes I have created specifically for a method book designed to focus on auxiliary instruments for elementary students. This age group will specifically experience percussion ensemble pieces designed for their enjoyment and understanding of musical concepts. The idea is to focus on experiencing the instruments in a fun way while over-experiencing difficulty. These etudes should be enjoyable for all performers and fresh material for the educators on engaging instruments. The body percussion etudes are meant to focus on individual playing parts. Most students at this age group have not had the opportunity to play their own individual part. So, they'll have the opportunity to play their own part somewhere on their body. It could be clapping, stomping, patting their chest, or sitting on their legs. It's up for them to choose. And as you see in the video, the performers decided to choose for themselves as well. For the second etude, you will begin to see a few more difficult musical concepts, such as crescendos, accents, and some eighth note timing. This might be for the older age group to have an opportunity to play a clapping etude. Again, you will see that the performers chose to use any part of their body, and I would encourage you to do the same for your students. Now on to the etude section. Each of these etudes have been designed with a progressive approach in mind. The first few you will see are a little simple, and as we continue on, the difficulty will increase. The instruments will change throughout as well, so feel free to experiment with changing the written instruments as you see fit, based off what you have available. When playing the triangle, you want to hold the instrument with your non-dominant hand. The beater, the part that you will strike with the instrument, will be held in your dominant hand. Take the beater, hold it at an angle at the bottom of the triangle, you'll bring it back and strike the side. This can be done softly, mezzo forte, forte, and fortissimo. For the tambourine, you're going to want to hold the instrument in your non-dominant hand. Place your fingers underneath the bottom of the rim, turn it over to the head side up, and bring it up to the middle of your chest. When striking the instrument, you'll want to make a duck shape with your dominant hand. It'll look like this. When we're striking the head of the instrument, you'll want to do it in between the middle of the head and the middle of the rim. All you'll have to do is bring your hand back and tap on the head. Here's what a pianissimo tap looks like. You'll see that I rested the bottom of my wrist against the frame of the drum and slightly lifted my hand. Here's a piano tap. Mezzo piano, I take my hand off. Mezzo forte. Fortissimo. For the suspended cymbal, make sure you place it on a stand that can support the instrument well. You want to make sure the cymbal guard and the felts are on your stand, not to damage your instrument. You'll want 2 soft mallets for this instrument. When rolling on the cymbal, place the mallets on the very edge across from it. Imagine it's a clock, setting the left hand on 9 and the right hand on 3. When rolling on the cymbal, you'll want to start lifting from the elbow slightly, slowly. You'll start getting bigger, and a fuller sound will come from the instrument. Keep a slow roll going. At no point should you feel like you're moving your hands very quickly. For the bass drum, placement is very important of where you're standing with the instrument. Line your body up behind the drum while you're playing. Maybe ask your student to rest their hand on the top of the shell. You'll have the mallet of the drum in your other hand. You'll want to set the mallet just off center when playing the bass drum, just like so. When you're striking, you want to come off the drum slightly and have a nice full stroke off the head. Here's what a piano strike looks like. Mezzo piano, mezzo forte, and a forte. When playing the castanets, you want to have one of each in your hands. You'll see that I'm holding the instrument about halfway up the shaft, where my hands are just underneath the actual black parts. You'll want to set your leg, usually on a chair or a stand of some kind. Set the instrument right above the knee, and you'll tap them against your leg. Here's what a piano sound looks like. A mezzo piano, a mezzo forte, and a forte. For the maracas, you want to have one in each hand, just like we did with the castanets. When making a sound on this instrument, you'll want to make a downward motion with each of the hands, hearing the beads being activated inside the instrument. For a very soft sound, set your fingers on top of the instrument and make a downwards motion. Here's what a piano sound looks like. Mezzo piano, mezzo forte, and forte. For the wood blocks, you'll want to set this instrument on a stand of some kind. Make sure it's about the same height as your student's belly button. What's important about the wood block is not to strike it with something that is harder than itself. A nice hard yarn mallet or a medium plastic mallet would be a good choice for this instrument. Set the mallets towards the front edge of the block to make sure you get the most resonant sound. Here's what a piano sound will look like. Mezzo piano, mezzo forte, and forte. When rolling on this instrument, you'll want to lift the beater to be even with the corner of the instrument. Begin moving the beater up and down slowly, and then quicker to have a fuller ring. Now rolling on the tambourine. To start a roll, you'll want to strike the head. After you strike the head, begin shaking the wrists of your non-dominant hand, and to end the roll, strike the head again. There are different ways to strike the suspended cymbal. We'll be using a crash and a bell sound for this next one. For the crash sound, you'll want to use the shoulder of the snare stick to strike the edge of the cymbal, giving a loud, ringing sound. The other sound will be on the bell of the cymbal, which was this part right here, the dome. Again, use the shaft of the snare drum stick and tap the side of the bell to get a high-pitched ring sound. When playing the clave, you'll put one in each of your hands. In your non-dominant hand, turn over your hand so you can be able to see your fingernails in a straight line. You're going to want to set the clave on top of that part of the hand. With your dominant hand, hold the bottom of the clave and you'll want to tap right in the middle of both pieces of wood. Piano, mezzo piano, mezzo forte, and forte. There are two ways we can go about playing the cowbell. You can hold it in your non-dominant hand with one stick in your dominant hand, or you could mount it on a suspended cymbal. That way your player can hold two sticks. I would recommend this for the later etudes in this book. When striking the cowbell, you want to hit the very edge with the shaft of the snare drum stick. That way we get a full resonant sound from the cowbell. Here's what it sounds like at piano. Mezzo piano, mezzo forte, and forte. When playing the crash cymbals, your non-dominant hand can be set still at an angle. For the dominant hand, imagine you're coming down on that cymbal at a slight angle. You want to make sure the cymbal hits at 2 points to get a nice clear crash. After your cymbal makes contact, let it go down through the cymbal and then come back up, ready for the next crash. Here's what it'll look like at piano. Mezzo piano, mezzo forte, and forte. When playing the sleigh bells, you'll want to hold the wooden part in your non-dominant hand and strike the instrument with the dominant hand. You can do it with 3 parts of the hand: the fingers, the middle of the palm, or make a fist and strike the top. Here's what it can sound like at a piano dynamic: mezzo piano, mezzo forte, and forte. Finally, the fantasy section. These fantasies are meant for a concert setting. Maybe you need to play something for the spring concert or a fall concert. Try programming one of these for your different age groups, and it will be fun for the entire audience and the performers. For the vibroslap, you'll want to hold the instrument in one hand, your dominant one. You can strike it on a number of ways: the side of your leg, the palm of your non-dominant hand, or against your thigh right above your leg, depending on where you want to. Strike the ball with a downward motion and bring it back up to make sure the instrument vibrates.